Have you ever walked away from a conversation thinking, why do they always make things so hard? It could be a boss who criticizes every idea, a coworker who never listens, or a family member who always plays the victim. Dealing with difficult people drains more than just your time. It takes your energy, your focus, and sometimes your joy. You replay the argument in your head, even hours later, trying to find the perfect response you wish you had said. Over time, these small conflicts start to shape how you feel about work, about relationships, even about yourself. You begin to walk on eggshells, afraid to trigger another confrontation. You hesitate to speak up, even when you know you should. And sometimes, you build emotional walls just to protect your peace. But here's the truth. Those walls don't keep pain out. They keep connection out. Emotional intelligence isn't about fixing other people. It's about understanding what happens inside you when things get difficult. Because the real conflict isn't between people. It's between our emotions and our reactions. In this episode, you'll learn how to see through that emotional fog, stay calm under pressure, and turn conflict into connection. So let's begin by understanding why people act difficult in the first place. Every difficult behavior begins with an emotion that feels threatened. When people feel unheard, unseen, or disrespected, their brain goes into defense mode. The part of the brain that's supposed to reason and listen shuts down, and the amygdala, the emotional alarm system, takes over. That's why a calm conversation can suddenly turn into a storm. It's not logic fighting logic, it's fear fighting fear. Think of the angry boss who lashes out when things go wrong. Beneath that anger is often fear. Fear of losing control, fear of failure, or the colleague who criticizes everything you do. That's not confidence, that's insecurity, wearing armor. And sometimes, we're that person too. When we feel ignored or misunderstood, our tone sharpens, our words harden, and we justify it as just being honest. But honesty without empathy is like fire without warmth. It burns more than it enlightens. Understanding this emotional pattern doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it helps us see it clearly without taking it personally. When you can recognize what emotion is driving the conflict, you stop reacting to the words and start responding to the pain underneath them. That's the first step of emotional intelligence in conflict, seeing the human behind the behavior. In moments of conflict, our first instinct is to react, to defend, to argue, to prove we're right. But reacting is the mind's way of saying, I'm not in control, my emotions are. The most powerful thing you can do in that moment is pause. The pause isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the space between the trigger and your response, the few seconds where emotional intelligence begins. When someone raises their voice, you don't have to match their volume. When they attack, you don't have to attack back. Instead, take one deep breath. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the air move through your lungs. That single breath gives your brain time to reset, to move control back from the amygdala to the prefrontal cortex, from emotion to reason. You can even name the feeling quietly to yourself. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm frustrated. Naming it disarms it, because what you can name, you can tame. In every heated moment, you have two choices: to be pulled by the storm or to become the calm inside it. That pause, that calm, isn't the end of the conflict. It's the beginning of control. When people argue, most of us don't really listen. We wait for our turn to speak. We listen to reply, not to understand. But empathy changes that. Empathy is the bridge between emotion and reason. It quiets the noise long enough for connection to happen. When you listen with empathy, you're not agreeing with the other person. You're simply saying, I see you, I hear you. And for most people, that's all they've been craving. Think of the last time someone truly listened to you. Not to fix you, not to judge you, but just to be there. Didn't you feel lighter? That's the power you can give to others too. Here's the secret. Behind every harsh word, there's usually a softer feeling hiding. Fear, shame, loneliness, or insecurity. If you can listen for that, instead of the attack, you'll start hearing what the person really means. Try this simple shift. Instead of reacting, ask calmly, it sounds like this really matters to you. Can you tell me more? That one sentence disarms defenses. It tells the other person, you're safe here. Empathic listening doesn't mean you lose the argument. It means you win the relationship. Because when people feel understood, they stop fighting you and start opening up to you. Emotional intelligence isn't just about staying calm. It's also about knowing when not to keep engaging. Some people don't want resolution. They want reaction. And the more you argue, the more you feed their chaos. Setting boundaries isn't cruelty. It's clarity. It's saying, I respect you, but I also respect myself. You can stay kind and still stay firm. You can be compassionate and still say, this conversation isn't helping right now. Boundaries are not walls. They're doors with handles. You decide when to open them and when to close them. Sometimes, the most emotionally intelligent move is to take a step back, breathe, and let silence do the talking. Remember, walking away doesn't mean giving up. It means you've stopped trying to win the wrong battle. Conflict can't be solved when one side is unwilling to listen, but you can always choose peace over pressure. And in that choice, you protect your energy and your dignity. At the end of every conflict, what truly matters isn't who won, it's who stayed human. Emotional intelligence doesn't promise a life without difficult people. It promises that you won't become one of them. When you stay calm, when you listen deeply, when you draw boundaries with kindness, you're no longer reacting to the storm. You are the calm. And something amazing happens. The world around you begins to mirror that calm back. Arguments soften, tension dissolves, and what once felt impossible becomes a conversation again. You can't control other people's emotions, but you can always choose your own response. So next time someone tests your patience, pause, breathe. Remember, every conflict is an invitation to practice compassion, to protect your peace, and to lead with emotional intelligence. You can't control difficult people, but you can control how you respond. That's not just a quote. It's a way of living.